I know that most of us choose to focus on the negative, but I have to say, if you really think about it, right now is just the best time to be a sneakerhead. Hey, what's up guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got something real special because a cult classic is back. Some of you guys will probably recognize it just from this checkerboard right here, but for the rest of us, the Mac Attack is back. So before we get into the shoes, I just want to explain a little bit what I said earlier about right now being the best time to be a sneakerhead. It's mainly because of drops like this. This shoe has never released outside of its original release back in like the 80s. They say that they released in 1984, but when I look back at original pictures of the shoe, inside the collar, which they actually pay tribute to on these guys, which they've been doing a lot lately with certain Jordans and Nikes, but it's got the size and color code in there and stuff like that. But the original state inside the collar lining that is 1985. So I don't know if, there's just a discrepancy between history facts or what. Maybe they were produced or made or designed in 1984 and didn't release until 85. Either way, getting something like this, it's insane because this is a shoe that most of us probably thought we'd never see again, especially if you happen to be a huge fan of these, which I know that a lot of people might not know about the shoe, but it is a cult classic. Cult classics are kind of underground, they're hidden, they're treated as such, and I just think that Nike did a bang up job with these. But like I was saying, man, like right now you can get any shoe that you want, practically any of them. Like I know that resellers suck and the hype releases and the collabs and stuff like that is kind of a pain in the ass to get. I get it. But if you really think about it though, like we got the power of buying in the palm of our hand and we could buy almost anything. So yeah, I just personally, as somebody that grew up in the 90s that wanted all the stuff that I couldn't get in the 80s, there is no better time than right now. There just isn't. The box that they come in looks like the original. It's not identical to the original or anything. I think the original was like a flip lid, whereas this one is more like a drop lid and everything. So they got the little hole punch thing in there so you can grab them off your shelf or the stock room, whatever it is. It also allows air to get in there and stuff. So hopefully they don't get all moldy, right? Now the shoe itself was originally called the Nike Mac Attack. On the box label though, it just says Nike Attack. Well, it doesn't just say that. It actually says Nike Attack QS for Quick Strike and then SP, which means Special Projects. I didn't even know that Nike had a Special Products line.
Oh, because you're saying Jordan has one.
Yeah, Jordan brand has special projects like the Nike SB Air Jordan 4 and so on and so forth, but I didn't know that Nike had special projects now, so I think it's dope. But either way, back in the 80s, John McEnroe was kind of the shit, and he knew it. He was like the bad boy or the OG bad boy of tennis at the time, and Nike was an underdog brand. They were brand new, not brand new at this time. They were still pretty new to the game, if you will, because they were competing with brands that are currently like 100+ years old now. So like back then they were considered babies. They needed guys that would spark eyeballs onto them so that you'd see this stuff on their feet. And this shoe was supposed to play up on his whole like bad boy image or persona, because much like the Air Jordan 1, this shoe right here did a color scheme that actually was not allowed, or at least not common in tennis, especially tennis signatures. So most of the time in the 80s, a lot of tennis shoes would just release as simply white and black, or they would be white and then a little accent color. But they switched things up. These are not white. There is a white version, a white and black one, which looks awesome. Hopefully they release. But these guys right here are dark gray, and then I just think it's funny because they make, out of everything that I've read about this shoe, they make a really big deal about the checkerboard tongue tag, being like, yeah, that little splash of color right there really was a big like burst of energy and stuff. And I'm just like, okay, like that's cool. You could have done a little bit more, but I just think it's funny that in the 80s, that was ballsy. The 80s is so fun. It's almost like we were naive as a people.
There was so many serial killers.
Ugh, let's not talk about that. Now, I don't know who put this together. I don't know anybody on the team. At least I don't think that I do. If I do, then hit me up. But you guys crushed it. Like this shoe, I've never seen the original in person. I've seen lots of pictures though, and this shoe looks super close. It doesn't look identical, but I mean, this is about as close as you could get. Speaking of the closest you can get, my friend has his own little brand called McDowell's, where he actually does tribute bootleg releases, but they're vegan friendly. But this guy right here was his take on these. So this was about as close as you can get at the time, and this was only released like last year. So yeah, I just think that this is cool. They actually come with more stuff than the Nikes do. They came with extra laces and the box that was very much inspired inspired by the original and stuff like that. Didn't have the same tooling though, so he actually used almost like a Jordan 1 tooling or a Dunk or a mixture of the two. Whereas you could see the actual tooling is more tennis based with all the little nubs and things like that for the hard court surfaces or the clay surfaces. Man, he did a good job replicating these, I gotta say. These are... But speaking of the outsole, again, it's really pretty, I think. I know that it's very plain looking, but if you're like really looking at it, I think that it's just really intricate and really awesome. You got plenty of flex grooves in there. You got a pivot point as well. I love all the little nubs. This is very classic as far as tennis is concerned, because this stuff just kind of like grips the floor like crazy. When I was showing my wife over there the shoe yesterday after we had grabbed it, she was just like, oh yeah, it looks like cilia traction pattern that Adidas adopted later on. And I was just like, yeah, they used to use that on the Stan Smiths and stuff like that. So just seeing this back again, I think is really cool. I love all the weird little things too. I like this, like, I don't even know what you call it, but in the middle, it looks like the Boston Celtics floor. I know that it's not, but like, it just looks like it. I think it's dope. You almost have herringbone on the bottom, but it's not herringbone. It's just really nice looking. And I absolutely love that there are the stars that you'll see on the tips of the toes of the Air Jordan 3 and 4s. It's everywhere. Like, it's surrounding the entire border. And when I was looking at these and seeing all those stars around the borders, like, it immediately made me question, like, whose idea was that? Like, back in the 80s, like, why stars? And to me, it's just like synonymous now with, like, you know, Nike products and stuff. But I would just like to know how they came up with that. Like, could you imagine like carving that into tooling molds?
No way.
There is a rubber cup sole, and inside the cup sole is no air. Do you know why?
Because there's no air underneath the Nike.
Exactly. So I'm really glad that you caught on. So like, I like that. It's not a Nike Air product, it's a Nike product. So it's the Nike Mac Attack, not the Nike Air Mac Attack, which would have been really cool. But at the time, I don't think that they were thinking about putting air in every product and stuff. It's probably a budgetary thing, especially when you're paying the athlete. Although typically you want to give them all the stuff that you got.
Maybe he wasn't into air.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, especially old school tennis dudes, like they probably preferred court feel above all else, which is what you'll see in a lot of the modern day tennis shoes as well. Like, obviously there are some that have full length zoom or isolated forefoot and heel, but we just did those Air Jordan 3, the Vapor somethings.
The 9.5?
Yeah, like it was that mashup shoe that was originally Roger Federer's, but is not anymore. He's not with them and stuff. So like that shoe, it had zoom in the back, but in the forefoot, it was all court feel everything, because that's just what these guys prefer. But anyways, inside of here should be a polyurethane wedge. And if it's not polyurethane, it's most likely EVA. One of the two was just predominant back in the day. That was kind of like the only two options that you had outside of the rubber cup soles. One of the things that I absolutely love about it is not only just the overall design of everything. I like the way that the gray pokes out and stuff like that, but I found that the stitching being 3/4 length and not full length and 360 degrees around the shoe, it just stops right at the forefoot area. I just thought it was very interesting. I don't normally see this, so I thought it was pretty cool. Now the insole is very plain. It's not anything special. Honestly, it's just a regular piece of foam. They don't even have graphics on the heel, which I thought was really weird. I don't know if that's an OG feature, like maybe they just didn't have the Nike branding in there, but either way, I thought it was interesting. Maybe they're just like really paying tribute to the OG product and they're trying to make it as original as possible. I really don't know the answer to that. That's just me speculating. And again, they don't come with extra laces or anything like that, which is unfortunate, but I don't think the original product did either. So again, it's kind of like really in line with that original release. So that's probably the reason for it, but it would have been nice. Now, as far as the materials and the build are concerned, that's where like I was really gonna, like I was honestly skeptical, because like I've been burned by Nike and Jordan so many times now where I'm excited for something, it comes out, I get it, and I'm like, oh. These right here though are done really, really nicely. All the leather panels that are featured on the shoe are actual leather. They are very thin cuts, but the polyurethane coating that's on top of it is just as thin. And when you have that, when you touch it, man, it's so nice. Like, this is gonna be comfortable, man. As far as like the overall fit around your foot, it's gonna be awesome, especially once they break in. All of that leather is stitched on top of the main base layer, which is all textile. So back in the day, that was lightweight, it was breathable, you had all the overlays for support and structure and strength. So that's the main layers that would take care of all of your movements on court. And then everything else was just for easy break-in and a lot of breathability and stuff. And when you're outside playing tennis, you kind of need it. One of the interesting features would be the rear right here. It's got a little bit of an extended heel collar and stuff like that. This doesn't look quite as high as some of the originals that I've seen, but it could be a sizing thing. Like, it could just be, you know, to scale. But one of the things that I thought was really interesting though is that some of the pairs that I've seen that are like super used, like this ends up getting like crushed down anyway, so it makes it look more like a low than like what's actually here. It's probably from people just stepping into the shoes. Squidward. We've all done that, right? I know that I've ruined a few pairs. Now, as far as the fit is concerned, they do fit true to size. Whatever you typically wear, that's personally what I would recommend. They do look really long. Like, I did not think that this was my size. I was like, are you sure that my size is not wrong inside the box? But no, it is my size. They fit really nicely as well. They are very straight though. So like you might have a little bit of extra room, but it's not gonna be a lot or anything like that. So most people should be good going true to size. If you are a super narrow footer, you might wanna consider going down half a size. There's not a lot of padding inside of here. And then if you're a wide footer, you might wanna consider going up half a size. But anyway, sound off below and let us know what you think about them down below in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. If you have any extra information or history tidbits, maybe you got a story about like where you found these. I saw some of the original pairs that were like listed on eBay and stuff where the tags on them said $14.99. If I had a time machine, I'm telling you guys, it would be so much fun. But anyways, feel free to sound off below. Let us know all the stuff that you know and all the things that you lived through back in this time frame, because I know that you guys are here and I appreciate you. So thank you so much for being here. We will catch you on the next one. And until then, have a good one.